Good morning, Millfields. How are you? I hope you had a fantastic holiday and you're all ready and raring to go for the start of the new term. Now, as you can see, this is a recorded assembly. And the reason is just that we want to do some more assemblies during the week with you. But trying to find a time that works for everybody is difficult because obviously we have different times of coming in and leaving and things like that, don't we? So we're still going to stick with our Friday assembly, which will carry on being live so we can all celebrate all the fantastic work you're all doing, but it means that the rest of the week your teachers can play the assembly to you at a time that really works best for your class, okay? So that's where we are now, but it's a great chance to share some things with you because it got me thinking. Last year, we spent some time in an assembly, those days when we could all go in the hall together, working on a Wordle. And that was a picture that was our sign for our school. And we had key words that represented our school. And you came up with those words and we put them in together in that Wordle and we got it made. Now, I'm sure lots of you have seen this because you walk up and down for lunch and things like that, but I just wanted to share it with you anyway and just talk about it while we're all together. So if you have a little look here, you can just see it behind me. I've got to get my camera angles right. There you go. And hopefully there are some words there that really jump out at you. And if you'd just like to share them now, maybe your teachers might be wanting to ask if anybody of you can read those words out, and maybe they'll ask you what you think they mean. But I think they're really important. They really sum up our school. So you've got words there like persevere and respect and challenge and learn and friends and so on, okay? So some really important words there that really sum up our school. And these words are something I really want you to focus on this term. Okay, the Millfields mindset is built into a lot of this, isn't it? You're talking there about perseverance and challenge. Those are really important things. And I want you to do that this term. I want to hear, as we do every Friday, about all the children that are loving a challenge. They're up for a challenge. They're giving things a go. They're not worried if they get things wrong. Okay, they just try again. They try a different method of working it out, and they try a different way because they're going to get there in the end. If we just remind ourselves as we walk down our corridor, because we did do all this last year, but it's always good to remind ourselves of it again, isn't it? There's one of the quotes that we have up, and I know we like to have a look at these, don't we? So it says here, "It always seems impossible until it's done," and that was from Nelson Mandela. And what does he mean by that? It always seems impossible until it's done. Have a think about that. You may want to talk about that with your teachers. To me, that's quite simple. It means start of something new, and it happens to me quite a lot. Sometimes you sit there and you've got so many things to do in front of you. You think, I'm never going to get all this done. I'm never going to get it all finished. I'm never going to work this out. I'm never going to be able to do it. It's too much. It's too hard, and it just feels impossible to do. And you just have to break it down and go, well, actually, what if I just start with this little bit here? I'm just going to do this little bit. And then I'm going to just do that little bit. And you start doing all these little bits. And before you know it, you're starting to work your way through it. Or it could be it's a bit tricky to do it. It just feels really impossible. So perhaps I'll go off and I'll ask somebody for some help. Or I'll have another look at it from a different way. I'll try different things, but I break it down into these little steps. And before you know it, it's done. And it's exactly what he says there. It always seems impossible until it's done. And then we have this other quote. I'm going to come down there for it. Okay. Can we see that one there? A person who never made a mistake never tried anything new. And that's from Albert Einstein. And that's something else that we need to remember this term as well. Because we all make mistakes. We make them all the time. I mean, you're watching this assembly now. What you don't realise is that this assembly, this is about the fifth recording that I'm doing of it, because the previous four I had to keep stopping. And now I've just said that, I'm wishing I hadn't, because the chances are I'm going to have to stop this one and re-record this one again at some point. Because you know what? I'll probably make another mistake. But I'm going to keep going, okay? And I'll get there in the end. And that's what I'll be able to share with you, and that's what you'll all see. But that's what happens. We all do it. We all make mistakes, okay? It's no different for anybody at all. And it's what we do, and we pick ourselves up, and we get back on with it again. And that's the Millfields mindset. And those are things that we really need to focus on this term. And it's that spirit of keeping going. It's persevering. We don't give up. We have a go. And if we get faced with a challenge, we don't sit there and panic about it or, give up straight away. We don't give up. We have a go. And do you know what? We probably won't get it right the first time. But that doesn't matter. We pick ourselves up and we have another go at it and we get it done, okay? And we take our time, or we ask other people to help us. We do all these different things, okay? Because we can train ourselves to do these things. It's about looking at things in a different way and making sure we have that mindset of, okay, what should I be doing? How could I do this? Okay? And making sure that that's what you do. Okay? So you don't give up, you don't quit, you just keep going. And think about all those Fridays we sit in an assembly and we hear from teachers that have chosen the star of the week because that child has persevered. They found something a bit tricky, but you know what? They've kept going all week and now they're doing these maths questions or whatever it is. They're doing them brilliantly because they've stuck at it. They've kept going. They've put a bit more practice in, a bit more effort. They've had to keep working hard at it. And that's what it's all about. If it's too easy, there's no point doing it. Easy things, there's no point doing them because they're easy, all right? It's things that are going to challenge you. That's how you grow and that's how you learn. Every time you challenge yourself, you are learning new skills and new ways of doing things. And that improves you in everything you do, okay? And this isn't just about your schoolwork. This is about everything, isn't it? To do with sport, outside of school, anything at all. You set your mind to it and you have a go, you'll get better at it. And that's what we do all the time. If you think back to the first time I spoke to you about mindset, we talked to you about the best people, the best example of a Millfields mindset are babies. Because they never give up, okay? When a baby first starts trying to walk, it doesn't just get up and walk. It falls over and falls over again and then falls over a bit more. And every time it falls over, sometimes it'll giggle because it'll find it funny. Other times it might cry because it might hurt a little bit. But you know what? They don't just sit there and go, that's it, I'm never bothering again. They stand up, don't they? They keep going. And before you know it, they take a step. They might then fall over again. But then they practice again. Then they take a couple of steps and they keep going and keep going. And before you know it, they're able to walk. And once they've done that, they then move on to learning to run, or to jump, or to hop, and all those kind of things. It's the perfect example of the Millfields mindset. They don't give up, they don't quit, they persevere. It's a challenge, but they keep going. And they use things to help them. Sometimes they use people to help them. Sometimes they use objects around them to help them to stand up and things like that. But they look for those things and they use them. And they never quit. And the most special thing about all of that is every single one of you were a baby at some point. Of course you were. We all were. So you've all had the Millfields mindset. And for most of you, you've all still got it. And that's exactly how you approach all your schoolwork and everything else that you do in life. But some of you might have just mislaid it, let's say. Okay? And you'll know that better than anybody. You'll sit and think, well, yeah, I am somebody that doesn't really like a challenge. Well, do you know what? When you were a baby, you did. Okay? Because you wouldn't be where you are now if you didn't like a challenge. Okay? So we've all got it in us. And it's just making sure we get back to that again. So this term, I want to really have a go at that Millfields mindset and make sure you're putting it into everything you're doing. And I know your teachers will remind you of this as well. And they'll talk to you about it. And when somebody does it really well, they'll flag that up to you. And we'll see it on Friday, celebration assemblies and so on, okay? But that's your first challenge this term. Really show that Millfields mindset. Now, if we go back to this and have a look at some of the words here again, some of the other words that jump out. Respect is one that jumps out. Kind, I can see there as well. Team. All these things are really important as well. And they come up because these are another more key things that we talk about here at Millfields that are really, really important to us. And it's something that you need to focus on this term as well. There was a little bit at the end of last term, maybe some people had, were they as kind as they could have been? Okay, once again, you all know that best. What we're going to make sure we're doing this term, when we come in today and we're starting on for this term, we are going to be kind to everybody. We are going to respect everybody. That means everybody in the school. It means all the children in your class. It means all the adults in your class. It means all the children around the school, all the adults around the school. Okay? That includes teachers, okay? The TAs, kitchen staff, the middays, office staff. Everybody in the school needs to be respected. And you need to have a think about that. Think about the way you speak to people, okay? When I first came to this school, one of the things that blew me away was how polite children were. When I first come to have a look around the school, children were, would say sort of good morning or hello, and, they were just polite. And it really bowled me over. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was fantastic. It was one of the best things about this school was you, okay, and the way you behaved. Now, over the last year, we all know it's all been tricky, but one of the things I think we've missed a bit is actually having other people coming into the school. We don't have so many visitors coming in because visitors always used to see that side of you. And it's funny because for a lot of you, when you see a visitor in the school, you all walk up to them and say, good morning, and how are you, and everything okay, and you'll be very polite, which is fantastic. It's what our school should be about. But even more important is making sure we're doing that with everybody who's already in school. And that we're showing that politeness and making sure that we're being kind to everybody in this school. So what I'm looking for this term as well is I'm looking for and listening out for children showing really good manners and being polite and saying good morning to people or good afternoon to people and making sure they're saying their pleases and their thank yous. And not just to their own adults, the adults in their own class, around the school, if they do see another adult, speaking to them, saying good morning or good afternoon. And that includes, like I say, everybody, kitchen, middays, office, any of the adults within school, okay? And I'm going to be looking out for that. I'm not just counting the children that say it to me, I'm looking out for it and hearing it from children saying to other adults as well. And I'll be speaking to the other adults to find out how we're doing because I want to get back to that. I want to see and hear you being respectful and polite to the adults in this school and to each other. I don't want to hear and see issues on the playground. I want to see children being kind to each other, respecting each other and playing together. Okay, nicely. Okay, that's what we want to see all the time. I don't want children having to come into me because they're making the wrong choices. We want the right choices being made. Respect each other and respect yourself as well by behaving in the right way and putting the best into everything you do. So those are your big challenges this term. I want you to really have a go at the Millfields mindset and to make sure you're putting it into everything you do. Putting it into subjects that you like and find easy is really easy, okay? Where you really have to put the Millfields mindset in is the things that you aren't so keen on. For some of you, that might be English. For some of you, it might be reading or writing. It might be maths. It might be art. It might be PE. It might be science. Whatever it is, some of you will find some subjects less enjoyable. They're the ones that you really need to put the Millfields mindset into, okay? That's so important to do because they're the ones that you if you don't enjoy it as much, you tend to have an attitude of it's a bit too tough to do, and you tend to give up a bit quicker, all right? We don't want to be doing that. Think about how you behave when it's a subject you like. I bet you don't quit easily. I bet you enjoy the challenge. You enjoy getting pushed further. You enjoy getting those harder maths questions or being pushed further in a PE session or being asked to write a bigger story or what have you and using different kinds of language. You'll enjoy those things. Other children will see them as a challenge. You enjoy them. And it's having that kind of attitude, because if you've got that attitude of, yeah, this is great, I'm going to have a go at this, do you know what? You're able to do it. You start improving, you get better at it. And that's what you want to do with the subjects that you do find a bit tougher, is having that same attitude, because what you'll find is you'll start to get more confident with those subjects as well, and things will move forward there. That's what you've got to do. But I also want you to make sure, second part of this term is also to make sure that you are being respectful, kind, and you are remembering that we here in Millfields, we are a whole team. And as a team, we work together. Okay? And if I've got children in the school that are not being polite to adults, not listening to staff, all those kind of things, then they're not being part of the team. And our team doesn't work as well if people are behaving in that way. Okay? I need you to make sure you are behaving and making all the right choices. Okay? That's really, really important. So I'm looking out for those, and staff will be looking out for those as well. All right? Okay. It's great to have you all back this term. Really looking forward to it. Love the summer term. Hopefully the weather's going to get even better and we can get on the field more and all those kinds of things as well. And hopefully things will change as we go along as well, and we can start to do some other things and other summer activities, let's say, okay? But it's great to see you all back. And have a fantastic week this week. I will pop up in another assembly at some point during the week, and I'll see you on Friday at the live assembly, and obviously I'll see you around school anyway, okay? But don't forget, mindset and behaviour, okay? Those are the key things we're looking for at the moment. Respecting yourself and everyone else, okay? That's what we're looking for all the time. All right, Millfields? Okay, have a great day. Great to see you all back. And take care, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.